Hello friends, Ben here for Giant Loop, and today I'm going to walk you through installing the Coyote Saddlebag on a dual sport dirt bike or enduro motorcycle, and you're going to find it's incredibly quick and easy because it was designed that way. After my last installation video putting the Coyote on the Honda CB500X in completely stock form, there was a lot of interest in seeing that same installation process on a more dual sport enduro dirt bike style bike. So I went in the garage and asked my 450L if it would mind being on camera. It said it would love to, and here we are. The cool thing about the way I have my 450L set up is I can show you a couple different mounting options because of what I've already got on this bike. To do this, to mount the Coyote Saddlebag to a motorcycle, you only need two things. If you watched the last video, you already know what they are. The first is a motorcycle. Here it is. The second is the Giant Loop Coyote Saddlebag. Bam! Just put it on the back of the bike like this. You want the beaver tail facing forward, ironically, because, you know, beaver tails on beavers are generally on the back. And you're just gonna kind of put it in place where you want it. Right at the end of the seat, the back of the seat is usually kind of where I start. Sometimes I'll even tuck this lip underneath the back of the seat, depending on the seat in the bike. You only need to mount this thing in 3 places. I like to start at the back and work my way forward. So let me show you what the back looks like. So I've rolled the top of the Coyote Saddlebag down just so you can see what's going on inside. You don't have to do this, you can just reach in, but it's awful hard to film like that. Inside your Coyote Saddlebag, you're gonna find this Velcro flap. What you wanna do is flip the flap up, and then you're gonna take the pronghorn strap that comes with the Coyote Saddlebag. It comes with the pronghorn and a Hot Springs heat shield, and you're gonna use that to attach it to the rear of the motorcycle. So you take the strap, I just go down through the slot. I like to start on the right, it doesn't really matter. Make sure that the logo on the pronghorn strap is facing up. It just makes it easier to tighten it down later on. And then the strap underneath can go in a couple different places. So depending on your bike, you have a couple different options. You can just run the strap underneath the tail of the bike, just like that, back up through the bag and secure it. That works. If you have the fender hooks, you want to use the fender hooks. If you have a fender lip like this, like a lot of the bikes do, so put one through facing the other way, they're gonna face out. And you're just gonna make sure that this fender hook is hooked up underneath the fender. It's not just a clever name. Then when you tighten this strap down, it will hold that there exactly where you put it. So that's option 2. If you don't want to go underneath your fender, you can use hooks to go onto your fender. Option 3 is a tail rack of some kind, the best of which is the Giant Loop tail rack, because it's literally designed with this bag and all of our other bags in mind. That's what I'm going to use to show you this further installation. Now keep in mind, every bike is different, and that's why we try to build in so much versatility to our mounting options. That's why I'm showing you 3 different mounting options in the same video. Not to confuse you, but just so you have some idea how versatile this is. Now there's a couple different ways to use the tail rack. I like to go around the outside and up, it's just easier. And then down through the other side. And then I'll just put the bag back on top, pull this through so it's tight, so that when I put it back up through the bag, I can get it all the way tightened down. Now, if you have a non-Giant Loop tail rack, this will still work. You just run it down through the tail rack. The spacing is just not gonna be as perfect as it is with the Giant Loop tail rack. Once that's all sorted through the rack, you're gonna come back up through the slit here underneath the flap inside your Coyote bag. Now we're secured to that tail rack. So I'm just gonna tighten this pronghorn strap down, and that will keep it from moving forward while we do the next step of this process. You're gonna wanna put the flap back over this when you're done. You're gonna wanna come back in here and readjust this once you get the side straps done. So this is just to hold it for now, and then just as always, once you get everything set, you need to just kind of do one more once over and check out all the straps. But let's check out how we do the side straps now. The 2 side straps are essentially the same on both sides. The one big difference is the exhaust. So the exhaust side will sit just a little bit higher up because it's got an exhaust underneath it. The other thing to look out for is any direct contact with the bag and your exhaust. So I've just added a heat shield here. It keeps my plastic up off of the exhaust. And as long as air can flow underneath that, I've had no problems with this melting, no issues with my bag. As you can see, this is the bag I run on here all the time. The bag actually comes with a heat shield, so you can set that up wherever you need it, depending on your exhaust. But the idea is, as long as this is not making direct contact with the exhaust, you're good. I made a whole video on that, which I will link for you so you can check out how to avoid damaging your bags with exhaust heat. But once that's all settled, you're gonna wanna find a mounting point up here on the front of the bike. The easiest one is generally just to the frame rail here, wherever it is. On this side, you just gotta be careful. You don't wanna get it too close to the exhaust always. So you can go directly to the rail, or you can buy our optional Giant Loop mounts, which is what I've done on this bike. And I can just go directly to this, and it's quick release on and off. I don't have to worry about exhaust. It's nowhere near my exhaust. I have no worries or concerns about that. And it just pops in this easy. Bam. Just like that, it's on there, and then I can run this strap back through and I've got this attached to the bike. So I like these Giant Loop mounts a lot. They're 20 bucks. So they're really, really good, useful addition to the bike. In my opinion, I have these on any bike I run the saddlebags on because it just makes it so easy to get them on and off. But you don't need that. It's not designed to need it. You're just gonna find a frame rail. You're gonna want this as far from the exhaust as possible. As long as you've got a good half inch or so, you're probably fine. And the other thing to be aware of is just make sure it's not anywhere that it can slide up or down and come loose on you while you're riding around. Oh, and the other thing about the Coyote is it is designed to kind of sit at more of a 45-degree angle. So on the Great Basin, you go down to look for mounting points. On the Coyote, you go forward. So I actually like right there or right here. Which one's farther from the exhaust? I think right here is farther from the exhaust. I also always go behind first and just watch your hand if your exhaust is hot because you are close to it. Because that way you don't have to cross over your strap to put it back where it needs to be. Make sure that your keeper stays where you can find it, your strap keeper. I just like to keep it there, okay? Back up underneath. And this is, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes so you can see. I would normally use my mount here, but you don't have to. Back up to the bag. Just through the webbing buckle, like this isn't the most complicated stuff on earth. And then put that extra strap through. I actually should have had that up here or underneath, it doesn't matter. I am gonna fix this strap keeper though. I think it's important to show the trial and error that comes with this process, because every bike's different, and the first place you put your straps may not be where they end up long term. And I've owned a few bikes in my time, and I've moved luggage around a ton on all of them. So you don't have to get it right the first time if something's in your way, or you're rubbing on the strap while you're riding, or anything like that. It's too close to the exhaust for your comfort. It's sliding or moving in a way you weren't expecting. Just move it. Don't be afraid to experiment and find the setup that works great for your bike. Because even if someone else has the same bike as you, they don't have the same setup as you, they don't ride the same way as you. So it's just a constant process. Every time you put these bags on, take them off, sometimes you find a better spot. You're fine. And you see how well these strap keepers work when you have this much slack? Beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna do the other side. Non-exhaust side is easier because no exhaust. Shocking, I know. I did not invent that. I'm just gonna put it to this so you can see what that looks like on this side. Ta-da! There you go. Voila! I misplaced my strap keeper, but I'll just go grab one. Okay, once I've just got it mounted lightly, I'm just gonna make sure this is more or less centered on the beaver tail, and that the tightness and the position is where I want it to be, and if it isn't, I'm just gonna adjust the strap here on the inside of the bag or these two straps until I've got it where I want it. Now you might be thinking to yourself, we're done. That's all I have to do. No, there's one more critical step that you have to do. You're gonna wanna load this bag. You're gonna wanna tighten down all these tension straps on the outside to make sure nothing's moving around, and then make sure all your straps are tightened where you want them. Close the bag, tighten it down, and then you're gonna wanna go for a ride. 5, 10 minutes, whatever. Even if it's the trip you're going on, just stop a few miles in and just make sure nothing's shifted in the bag. Make sure none of the straps are wiggling or rubbing anywhere you don't want them to be. Check the exhaust, make sure nothing's getting hot underneath. Because every time we fill these bags is different, it's important to just kind of stop and check those straps and make sure everything is still where you wanted it to be. It just becomes kind of part of your pre-ride routine, no big deal. And I've done thousands of miles with these setups. In fact, this is the setup that you're looking at that I plan on running on the Oregon BDR in a month. It's a great setup, stays out of the way. I love camping with this gear. You forget it's back there. And I hope that helps you figure out how to mount this Coyote bag to your dual sport or enduro or dirt bike. These bags work with all kinds of stuff. Versatility is built in, and there's always a way to mount it if you're creative enough. There's a bag of ours that will work for whatever it is you're trying to do. And if you have questions like that, don't hesitate to reach out to ride@giantloopmoto.com. Email us, let us help you find the gear and the solution that is perfect for you and your needs and your bike. The Coyote Saddlebag, like all of our gear, is backed by our lifetime warranty, and all orders over $75 from giantloopmoto.com ship for free. Make sure that when you're at giantloopmoto.com, you scroll down to the bottom, put your email address in, and subscribe to the newsletter. We have a massive sales coming out, and those are going directly to email boxes of our email subscribers via promo codes that only subscribers can use. So it costs you nothing to sign up. You only get a couple emails a month, one of which is our monthly specials with all of those huge deals. And if you're looking to gear up for this summer, now is the time to get on that list. I would strongly encourage you to do it. Please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel for more product announcements, gear how-tos, and other great content. And don't forget that all YouTube subscribers save 10% on giantloopmoto.com with promo code SUBSCRIBER. Thank you for watching. Go light, go fast, go far with Giant Loop.